A year after women came forward to accuse then-presidential candidate Donald Trump of sexual assault or harassment, the issue is once again at the forefront of political discourse. For a number of months, women have been coming forward to accuse powerful men in entertainment and media of sexual assault or harassment. In recent days there have been reports that the president has sought to backtrack from his apology over the infamous Access Hollywood tape, in which he made vulgar comments about women. He has told aides that it wasn't him in the video. He has also previously denied assaulting anyone or kissing anyone without consent. But the man on the bus who laughed along with Mr. Trump in that tape, Billy Bush, has pushed back on Mr. Trump's denials. Bush says that it most certainly was the man who would later become president speaking in the video. But beyond the remarks in that video, which Mr. Trump's team has dismissed as locker room talk, previously, accusations of sexual assault and harassment persist. Here's a roundup of those women who have accused Mr. Trump of sexual assault or harassment. Jessica Leeds, a former traveling salesperson, alleged that Mr. Trump grabbed her breasts and tried to put his hand up her skirt while on a first-class flight in the 1980s. Ms. Leeds was in her late 30s at the time. Ivana Trump, Mr. Trump's first wife, once used the word rape to describe an encounter with him. The accusation was made in a 1993 book following a divorce settlement between the two. She has since softened her language, saying that she didn't mean the word in a literal or criminal sense. Jill Harth, a former business partner of Mr. Trump's, said that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her on the lips, groped her breasts, and grabbed her genitals in what she described in a 1997 as an attempted rape. The encounter allegedly occurred at Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, in one of his children's bedroom. She also says that Mr. Trump groped her under the table at a dinner with colleagues at the Plaza Hotel. Kristen Anderson alleged that Mr. Trump put his hand up her skirt and touched her genitals over her underwear at the China Club in Manhattan at some point in the early 1990s when she was in her early 20s. Ms. Anderson was an aspiring model at the time. Lisa Boyne accused Mr. Trump of insisting that female models walk across a table at a New York restaurant in 1996, and then remarking on their underwear and genitalia. She was 25 at the time. Kathy Heller says that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her on the lips during a Mother's Day brunch at Mar-a-Lago in 1997. Dimple Taggart, a former Miss Utah, alleged that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her on the mouth on 2 different occasions. The first incident was the first time that they met. The incidents occurred at the 1997 Miss USA pageant event, and in Trump Tower. Mariah Bellato, a former Miss Vermont Teen USA, has alleged that Mr. Trump walked into a dressing room unannounced in 1997. She said that there were several teen beauty queens aged between 15 and 19 in the room naked at the time. Karina Virginia alleged that Mr. Trump grabbed her arm and touched her breast while she was waiting for a car after the U.S. Open. Bridget Sullivan, a former Miss New Hampshire, alleged that Mr. Trump walked into the Miss USA pageant dressing room in 2000 while contestants were naked. She was 19 at the time. Tasha Dixon, a former Miss Arizona, alleged that Mr. Trump entered dressing rooms at the Miss USA pageant in 2001 while contestants were half naked. Melinda McGillivray alleged that Mr. Trump grabbed her buttock in a pavilion behind the main house of his Mar-a-Lago estate in 2003. They were in the middle of a group of people, she said, and it was during a concert performed by Ray Charles. Jennifer Murphy said that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her after a job interview in 2005. She was 26 at the time. Rachel Cooks alleged that Mr. Trump kissed her forcibly on the lips outside the elevator in Trump Tower in 2005. She was 22 at the time. Natasha Stoynoff alleged that Mr. Trump pushed her against a wall and forcibly kissed her in a closed-door room in his Mar-a-Lago estate in 2005. Ms. Stoynoff, a writer for People magazine, was there to interview Mr. Trump. Nini Loxonen alleged that Mr. Trump grabbed her buttocks while taking photos outside the Ed Sullivan Theater, and before Mr. Trump appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman. Ms. Loxonen was 20 at the time, in 2006. Jessica Drake alleged that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her and 2 female friends in 2006, when she was 32. When she pushed him away, she said that he asked her, "How much?" Samantha Holvey, a former Miss North Carolina, alleged that Mr. Trump treated women like meat, and would barge into dressing rooms to inspect women. She said the incidents occurred in 2006, when she was 20. Summer Zervos alleged that Mr. Trump grabbed her by her shoulders and forcibly kissed her, and groped her breasts, while she was a contestant on The Apprentice in 2007. She said the incidents took place at Trump Tower in New York, and at a hotel in Los Angeles. Cassandra Sorrells, a former Miss Washington, said that Mr. Trump grabbed her buttock